Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. I was about to say Monday morning, Tuesday the 2nd of August. Hopefully we're all doing good. Obviously had the day off yesterday, Labor Day, US holiday, and hopefully you've all had some nice time to rest and recover. We are looking on the NQ, and I'm pretty much viewing kind of today as Monday, just in terms of expectations. Obviously, we've traded 442 points on the full session so far, so we are ATRing down on the daily. And I just wanted to show you some of the weekly charts that I did pay attention to, or pay you guys attention to a couple sessions ago. I think like 2 or 3 sessions ago, I did basically say once we came up into these weekly completions, which that's what that box is here. So if I just show you on the main screen, that's what I marked out this morning. So you'll see we are at those completions. If I go on the weekly, this this yellow kind of box that I've shaded is pretty much those completions. Both on the weekly and on the daily, you can see them more cleanly on the daily and the weekly. So if I just on the monthly as well, yeah, monthly, you've pretty much got completions on the monthly, which we haven't yet hit at 24,200s, but 2 of the monthlies have been taken out, and on the weekly, same again, 3 out of the 4 have been taken. So I'm hoping to see if we can actually get some potential reversals down. Obviously, what we were looking at a while ago has pretty much put us into the second high to high, which is where we found support a couple of weeks ago, and we may still find support here. All I'm really going to be doing is looking at the 5.5 an hour to frame the day, but I just wanted to show you the sort of zoomed out higher time frame view, and you can see we have completed that 23 from the extension from the December 18. It was pretty much the 2020 low, but it was the same anchor new high inside that extension. But whichever draw you want to pay attention to, they're both very similar. But you can see once we completed that 23, this extension here, okay, the one that's moving, then we went into that same anchor new high. Since that's traded from April, we have obviously been straight up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. This is the 6th month, and it's starting red, which is seasonality wise to be expected. If I just go over to the NQ, you can kind of see the seasonality on TradingView. This only shows 5 years of data, I think. But if you put the average line on, you can kind of see where we are. So we are here in 2025, and you can see the average. You can see the average line. So this is just seasonality in general, and you can kind of see September to November. There is like a bit of a dip here. So and historically, you do normally get a bit of a push from around October onwards. So this is just how we're tracking at the moment. Again, it doesn't mean we're going to completely sell off. It just means it's kind of, what has happened in the past, and so far it would line up perfectly with what I'm about to show you in terms of the high to high from the Trump tweet. So if you remember the guys who've been here or girls who have been here for a while, the setup that I pretty much made around $200,000 on was this halfway back when Trump tweeted buy, right? I wasn't exactly buying because the president said buy, but I was buying after the retracement down on that halfway back, after the ATR reversal on the weekly. This, Sam, you're going to hate me, but I've changed the colors slightly, but this is the reversal bar. I've changed it to gold. This is the reversal bar that traded when Trump tweeted, and then obviously we had those 2 weeks of consolidation, technically a week, and then the second week was the final bid. And ever since then, that is the extension that has basically paid. And again, you can see the halfway back down here. If I just take off the magnet, the halfway back, the 61.8 risk to 1 to 2%, well, 1.9 to 2% risk. It ran all the way to 24%, right? And as high as, if you got the exact high, then 32%. So the next technical draw for me would be a full high to high if we get it, right? And that brings us down into the next segment, which I'm going to discuss, which is the monthly ATR low. So if we just go to a daily, you can see the monthly ATR low at the moment is pretty much bang on line with that high to high. Now, again, it's a monthly level, so we've got, 20 odd days for that to trade. I'm just showing you where that would line up with. And of course, it pretty much just brings us back down into what was the support in June, right? So it's only prices we've not seen for a couple of months. It's not that crazy if we do come down. And of course, it is within the monthly magnitude, i.e., we've got 1,200 points left in the month. And 1,229 points left. And of course, that is where that would take us to. So just wanted to show you, bring your attention to that level on a higher time frame point of view. Going into more of the day trades, the daytime sort of perspective that we're going to be looking at as day traders. Obviously, the first thing you can probably see is we're below the weekly open, we're below Friday's high, and we are below the weekly magnitude on the ETH already. Okay, so we've already traded 100 and what would be 100 and, let me go to the half an hour time frame. Where is the ETH? So we traded 154% of the range on the ETH session already. Okay, and for whatever reason, Sam, I don't know if you're on the call. For whatever reason, I don't know why the RTH has started to count. Are the settings slightly off on that? Yeah, I don't know why the RTH has started to count when we haven't yet opened. But anyway, we'll have a look at that after. But anyway, we traded 492 points already on the ETH session. So going into today, I won't obviously be looking at any longs on the ETH. I would need to see where we open on the RTH to see where those lines are going to be, i.e. the trend line. The easy longs obviously aren't going to be in play because you're not above trend. So that isn't going to be easy to be had. In terms of following short extensions, if you are wanting to play any of the shorts, I think you've got, BX on your side. So the BX is BX is red on both the daily and the weekly. And also on the ES, the weekly has obviously started red. So bears will really need to push this week to see if they can close this week red. And if they do, then potentially we do have that seasonality shift that traders are looking at. So I will list, or I will go over the short sequences on stream on Whoop in terms of what I would be looking at on short extensions. And we will go through those live on Whoop, but you can see we are pretty much down to Friday's lows on the overnight session. So I will wait for the RTH to open and give a bit more of a solid game plan, but it's pretty clear that we have been respecting the overnight trend to the downside. And I would try and follow that as much as you can. The only problem at the moment in terms of an ETH point of view is you've already traded 154%. So trying to catch shorts down here, even though you can, doesn't always mean you should, right? There's a lot of things we can do each and every day, but it doesn't mean we have to or should do those things. So yes, you can go lower, but historically you won't. So for me, I won't do anything here at this point. I will wait for the RTH to open. This should be set at 0. Once I have a look at why that isn't at 0, the RTH session, I will then have X amount of points, probably about 300 or 250 points to play with. And that is where I'll sort of build my thesis for the day. So hopefully that's been useful. Again, I'm treating today as a Monday, low expectations, and I will go through some of the news items later on this week that we have. Any questions, put them into the Whoop main chat, and I will see you all over there in a couple minutes.